So with summer fast approaching, our attention turns to those roads, those shorter distances as we leave the marathon behind. Today I want to share with you guys 5 of my favourite types of workouts that have really helped me over the years get my 10k time down to where it is today. So if you're looking for some inspiration for workouts during the summer period, or just looking for a little bit of a change and want to try some of these, what I'll try and do throughout this video is throw up some examples on screen of every single type of workout that I'm talking about so that you guys can hopefully adapt it and potentially work it in to your training plan. That being said, I also produced a video a few months ago now about my 7 top 10k tips on how to train for a faster 10k. So hopefully this one will go hand in hand with that one. If you watch that video, this one will give you some more specifics about how you can really get that time down. So if you're excited for today's video, guys, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends. Of course, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. Let's dive in to the workout type number 1. Cut down workouts are the first one that I want to talk about. They've been a real revelation for me since I've been doing them really in the last 2 or 3 years. They just teach you to go through the gears, but they also teach you some of that mental toughness that you're going to need when it comes to race day. Often with these workouts you start slower than 10k pace, work into 10k pace and then finish it off slightly faster. Just as I said, teaching you to go through the gears and finish strong. Exactly what you want on race day. Let me throw some examples up on screen for you so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. You might want to start off with something like 5 minutes, a tempo effort, something like an hour race pace effort with a 2 to 3 minute recovery, and then work into something at specific 10k effort, something like 4 by 3 minutes with let's say 90 seconds or 2 minutes recovery, and then finish off with something faster around 3 to 5k effort, something where you're spinning the legs nicely 4 by 1 minute, maybe taking a 60-second recovery. Or you might want to try something slightly different where you don't start with quite so much a long interval, and you start with something like 2 by 3 minutes, working slightly slower than 10k pace, working into a bit more of a focused chunk there, 4 by 2 minutes at 10k, so getting 8 minutes worth of work done, and then again finishing off by spinning the legs with 4 by 1 minute. Or finally, if we go back to something similar to number 1, start with something slightly longer, 6 minutes, so you're really working that tempo, 1 hour effort. That's really going to help get you strong over the period of time, having a good solid tempo chunk at the beginning, and then doing a really solid focused 10k effort there. So another 8 minutes, but broken up just twice rather than 4 times. So 2 by 4 minutes, and then finish off 5k effort with 4 by 2 minutes. All of these equate to in and around 20 to 22 minutes worth of work, so all in the same region, and great examples of cut down workouts. Pyramid workouts or pyramid intervals are another great example for you guys to work on changing gears, but working in a slightly different way. You can do them in reverse or you can do them in the normal way. Let's give you a few examples of those, but again, the whole premise of these is just to get you changing gears, working your body, understanding each effort level rather necessarily than pace, and really understanding what 10k effort feels like, 1 hour race pace feels like, and faster efforts as well. Let's throw out some examples of these. We'll do a standard pyramid workout and then we'll show you some other examples. So something like 200 meters, 400 meters, 600 meters, 800 meters, 1k, that's the top of the pyramid. 800, 600, 400, 200 back down the other side, all with either equal rest. So if you're doing 200 meters, you have 200 meter jog recovery, or half rest, depending on if you want to try something a little bit more advanced. You might just have 200 meters with 100 meter recovery, 400 with 200, and so on and so forth. And again, with this, you're starting fast, then learning to go back down to kind of a more controlled tempo, 1 hour race pace effort for the K rep, and then working back down to a fast speed. Key to these ones is always not to go out too hard because you're going to fatigue yourself too much. So executing that perfect pyramid workout is a challenge, but great when done well. Or you can try something like 1k, 600 meters, 200 meters, and then repeat 1k, 600, 200, 1k, 600 meters, 200 meters. So although that's not quite a pyramid, it is kind of going up and down, similar to that pyramid effect, and it's really, really useful. Again, this time you're starting off at that 1 hour race pace effort or a good solid effort, and then working down nicely, then teaching your body to have to go back to that same effort and try again. You can repeat that 2, 3, or 4 times. I've talked about this workout in a few videos. I absolutely love it. Or you could try a longer stinted sort of pyramid workout where you're doing longer intervals, more controlled rather than fast. So this is really towards the end of a training block when you're really trying to dial into those specific race paces. 600 meters, 1k, 2k, 1k, 600. So the pyramid is slightly less. but those intervals you're doing are really more dialed into those race paces, and you're learning to really hold on to that 10K effort for a longer period of time. So let's talk tempo intervals. These are a fantastic complement to the faster stuff that we're doing and want to be done in conjunction with, usually you're working a slightly different zone, a slightly less intense zone, but still a really controlled and quite an uncomfortably comfortable effort, as a lot of people might call tempo workouts. These can be integrated into your long runs. I often do them in my long runs, or done as a separate workout. And you hear a lot of people talk about the 20-minute tempo run. That's a really good solid staple for a lot of people, but for me, I like to break things up into chunks. So let's give you guys a few examples of those. You might want to do something a little bit like a sandwich workout, I call it. So 10 minutes, it's a good tempo effort. Let's say sort of that 1 hour race pace with a 2-minute interval, 2-minute recovery. Then 5 by 2 minutes, you're going faster than 10K effort, or trying to hit 10K, and then all with off a minute recovery, and then going back to another 10-minute interval. So you're kind of sandwiching some faster stuff in there in between some longer tempo intervals. Or you can break it down and do something like 6 by 5 minutes. This is one of my favorites. I love that workout. Or I've done the reverse of that, 5 by 6. Both absolutely fantastic. Again, looking at taking 60 to 90 seconds recovery, or maybe 2 minutes. And again, you're looking to dial in to that hour race pace effort. And then, or maybe you might want to try something like 3 by 10 minutes. A little bit more simple, but again, that longer tempo effort. 2 minutes recovery should be enough. And again, you're just locking into that sort of half marathon to 10 to 1 hour race pace effort. Now, I call these standard intervals. Point number 4, these are my favorites, or some of the simplest but most effective. And again, we'll rattle through some examples of these. So obviously everything, a lot of what we talked about, you can label them as intervals, but these are just standard, kind of no cut downs, no pyramids. These are just straight up, bam, bam, bam. Great for working on that specificity that you're going to need come race day. We're talking K reps, we're talking mile reps, and these are some of the best out there. So some examples of K reps and mile rep workouts you might want to do when you're looking to lock into a good 10K PB shape is 4, 5 or 6 by 1K. That's really good for just locking into 10K race pace, seeing if you can get it. You're getting 6K maximum worth of work out of yourself, so you're not getting quite up to the 10K effort level, 10K mark, but 6K is enough to get you through and feel really good. You should be able to lock into 10K goal pace during that one. Again, 3 or 4 by 2K, so you're looking at 6 to 8K's worth of work, depending on which one you choose to do. Again, you can lock into 10K effort with these. Some people do this slightly slower. I often just ease off the gas a tiny bit, drop it a few seconds, and really lock into that really smooth, comfortable pace, because we know that come race day, we're going to have that extra edge of the race shoes and the adrenaline that's going to keep us going. So that's a really, really good one. Or mile repeats if you're working miles rather than K reps, and you're looking at sort of 4 or 5 by a mile. Obviously 10K is 6.2 miles, so you're going in and around 80% of the overall distance. Again, not going right up to the 10K distance in terms of effort there, but 80% is enough. And 4 or 5 by a mile, locking in to close to or just slightly slower than that race pace effort is ideal. And let's wrap it up with some hills. These are fantastic for so many of us. I'll give you a couple of ways that you can incorporate hills into your running. I'll tell you the way that I do it, and then there's some other different ways of doing it. I've done it in the past, which also really, really help, and I'll give you the benefits of those as well. But we all know hill work is just absolutely fantastic for us. Slightly less impact on the body because we're going uphill, but we're really generating strength and power with these. Often what I tend to do, and have been doing more recently, is just simply after an easy or moderate run, doing 6 to 8 seconds all-out hill sprints, sort of maybe 4 to 6 of those, literally just working on form and power, short bursts, absolutely powering up those hills. They're great and easy to incorporate at the end of an easy or moderate run. You can drop those in every single week. They're fantastic. I've done that in the past. Alternatively, if you want to look at proper hill workouts, there are different types. There's a couple I want to mention, I should say. You can do simple things like 10 by a minute, or 10 by 30 seconds, depending on your level, or even you can push it to 2 minutes if you want to. But again, they have to become a little bit more controlled. And you're not going all out for these, but you're just working at that really uncomfortable effort going uphill. Give yourself a nice light jog back down the other side. Don't set a recovery limit. Just jog back down, turn around, hit the lap button, and go again. Those are fantastic. Or you can do something like Kenyan hills, which is where you work to a time and you're just basically finding a hill that you can run up and down a multitude of times, and you're keeping the same effort level going up as you are coming down. And you might look at doing something like, I don't know, depending on your level of running, something like sort of 3 or 4 by 6 minutes, just continually going up and down a hill. You want that hill to be a good 1 to 1.5 to maybe 2 minutes in length, going up and then back down. And then when you finish that, you give yourself sort of 2 or 3 minutes recovery to, if you're halfway up a hill, get back down and start again. Or you can push it up. I've done this in the past and love this. The pain is immense, but it's so worth it. I've even done it up to 3 by 10 minutes, just going up and down a 2.5 minute hill. It's great, and you feel really, it burns, but it's so worth it, and it gets you so strong. So of course we could talk progression runs and long run workouts and other different types of intervals, but for me these have been actually some of the staple workouts that have been in my Strava, and I've been doing a lot. I kind of want to share things that I've been doing rather than just spout out information that you could go and find elsewhere. These are personal things to me, personal workouts that I've done that I love and have really got me to the shape that I'm in at the moment, and I just want to echo that to you guys and help if you're looking for a bit of inspiration from sessions, or if you have any specific questions about how to adapt them, please do feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I will do my best to get back to you. Hopefully, as I said in the intro, this couples nicely with the other video I produced, so you've got a 2-part video series there. We can get some tips on getting the best out of yourself for a 10K, and now come to this one and then work out some of these workouts into your training. I'd love to hear what your favorite 10K workouts are. Drop them in the comments below, and as I said, if you have any specific questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll do my best to get back to all of you. That's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do consider giving it a like, share it with your friends, or subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. I'll see you on the next one. Until then.